Gee whiz.
Hello, friends. My name is John Henderson. Welcome to this series of old-time radio show episodes called Gee Whiz. These are the stories of the schemes, trials, and loves of the typical American teenagers, Andy Hardy, Archie Andrews, and Henry Aldrich. Henry Aldrich was first played by Ezra Stone. Here he is on the Bill Stern Sports Newsreel from 1945.
Probably no youngster's voice is better known to America's radio audience than is his. A great star, a great director. Here he is in person, Henry Aldrich.
Good evening, Bill. Say, can I step out of character?
Why, certainly, Henry. But if you're going to step out of character, I guess I'd better introduce you by your real name. Ladies and gentlemen, a very fine actor who impersonates Henry Aldrich on the radio, Ezra Stone.
Thank you, Bill.
And now here is Ezra Stone as Henry Aldrich.
Memory is a mighty tenuous thing at best, and the farther back you reach, the more faded your remembrance. Well, if you want to revive the memory of your youth, there's no better way than knowing a lively teenage boy like Henry Aldrich. It's morning, and the scene opens in the Aldrich kitchen.
Mother, is breakfast almost ready? Yes, Mary. Well, then I'd better call Henry. No, Mary, he had a very hard day yesterday. Let him sleep. Sleep? Mother, he got up hours ago. He did? Where did he go? Just out on the front walk. Oh, dear. Mary, is he scrubbing it again? Yes. But he scrubbed it all day yesterday, and he didn't get any of it all. I know, but I think this morning he's using turpentine. The poor boy, I'll go call him. Do you want me to start the coffee, Mother? Please, Mary.
Alice, where's the morning paper?
Right beside your plate, Sam. Mary, bring your father his shoes. Henry, breakfast is ready.
In just a minute, Mother. I think I'm finally getting somewhere with this sidewalk.
The red paint's coming off?
No, but it's starting to turn pink now, isn't it? Or is it just that the sun's finally come up?
Dear, may I say something? Any young lady who'd fly off the handle the way Gladys did yesterday, just because of a little something that somebody wrote on a sidewalk.
Mother, I wouldn't exactly call this a little something. After all, it puts me in a very compromising position with Nancy Adams.
How?
Side by side. And I just figure if I can erase out...
Well, if you're going to spend another day scrubbing out here, you're going to need your energy. So let's go in and...
Henry, come quickly!
Mary, what's happened?
It's in the paper.
What is?
Our sidewalk.
What? Mary, what are you talking about?
Father wrote a letter about it to the editor, and they printed it this morning.
Well, my goodness. Sam, let's see it.
Mary, he didn't go and mention Nancy's and my name, did he?
I don't know. I just glanced at it.
Oh, boy, come on, Mary.
What this person or persons wrote on our sidewalk...
Father, you didn't go and quote the exact verbatim words, did you?
Of course not.
Listen. What this person or persons wrote on our sidewalk is not the concern of this letter.
Gee, thanks, Father.
But the desecration of property, both public and private, is a matter which should arouse every citizen in Centerville. I, for one, feel it is high time our town council took steps to eradicate the rising tide of vandalism. Samuel W. Aldrich.
Samuel W. Aldrich.
Sam, while you were at it, you could just as well have added attorney at law.
Alice.
Henry, right after breakfast, I want you to go down and get a half dozen copies of the paper.
For heaven's sake.
I'm going to need at least that many to send away.
I just think you're making a big fuss over nothing. After all, a letter to the editor isn't such a... You really like him?
I think it's a very well-written letter.
You do?
Oh, yes. And you used such a wonderful choice of words, didn't he, Mary?
My, yes.
Well...
Is that what you wanted the dictionary for last night, Father?
Well, I...
Just wonder if half a dozen copies are going to be enough.
Alice, believe me, it's not that good.
Now, dear...
And besides, I've already ordered a few extra copies.
You have?
But only because I knew you would insist on mailing them out.
Oh, good. How many did you order?
Enough. And just for the record, I'd like it to be known that the only reason I bothered to write that letter was to help Henry.
Me, Father?
Yes, I think once Gladys sees my letter, she'll realize you couldn't possibly have painted that on the sidewalk.
You really think so?
Of course, it's just logic.
Yeah, the only trouble is Gladys isn't too strong on logic. Although, excuse me while I put in a phone call.
Let's see. One to my sister Belle, one to your brother John.
Elm 203, please. Mother, do you think it would help my marks any if I showed it to my English teacher?
Dear, I don't think anything could hurt them.
Hello? Hello, Mrs. Prentice. This is Henry.
Oh, yes, Henry.
May I speak with Gladys?
I'm afraid not, Henry.
You mean she's not there?
Not at the moment.
Oh, she's gone out?
No. As a matter of fact, she hasn't gone out since yesterday.
Oh?
She's upstairs in a room.
Oh.
And she's been up there since yesterday.
Oh. Mrs. Prentice, do you know if by any chance Gladys happened to see this morning?
Hey, Henry. Henry, hang up quick.
What for?
I've got to tell you what I just saw.
Will you beat it? Mrs. Prentice, there's a slight intercommotion here.
Henry, will you listen?
Homer.
But I found another sign about you and Nan.
Well, can't you just wait till I... What?
On a fence over on Beach Street.
Oh, boy.
Hello.
Mrs. Prentice, pardon me if I say goodbye temporarily.
But-
Goodbye. Who did it? Who's the wise guy?
I don't know, but somebody's out to get you, that's sure.
Yeah, well, I'll show him a thing or two, whoever the wise guy is. Come on.
Gee whiz, what's this pile of newspapers doing on your front porch?
It's today's Centerville Times, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, they must be the copies my father ordered.
Yeah? He's going into the business?
No, Homer, come on. How much further is it, Homer?
Right in the middle of the next block.
Boy, if you ask me, some guys have a pretty crude sense of humor, painting the town red with my name.
Yeah.
I just hope Gladys finds out all the trouble I'm going to for her sake. Let's cross here.
Okay. You know, my father was in the paper once.
He wrote a letter to the editor, too?
No, it was the time he sued the railroad for peanuts.
For what?
Peanuts. He put a penny in one of their machines, see, and nothing came out.
He sued them for that?
No, that was just the way it started. My father put his hand up the machine and it got stuck.
The machine?
No, his hand. And he missed his train and lost a big contract because of it, so he sued.
Is that right? What happened?
He collected.
Yeah?
The railroad sent him 2 pounds of peanuts. My father said...
There it is, Homer. Just look at that fence, as broad as daylight. Boy, if I ever catch the guy that did this, you know what I'll do? Do you know what I'll do?
What?
Well, he'll regret it as long as he lives. Maybe longer. Okay, here's a brush for you and one for me. Come on, let's get started painting this out.
Henry, before we do this, you don't suppose the person who owns this fence might kick?
Kick? Why, you ought to be glad I don't sue him. As a matter of fact, I bet I've got a darn good case.
On what ground?
Helping to defamate my character. I bet I have a darn good case.
Henry, don't bother. My father said those peanuts cost him $200 a pound.
Come on, let's start painting.
Okay.
You start on the Henry, and I'll work on Nancy, and we'll meet in the middle.
Wait a second, man.
What's the matter?
See those 2 men across the street?
What about them?
Is that a camera they have there?
No, I think they're probably surveying something.
I hope it's not us.
Come on, Homer, let's start painting or we'll never get done.
Henry.
Gee, it's Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hello, Homer.
Did you do what I asked you to?
Yes, honey, I just came from talking to Mrs. Prentice.
Did you casually mention that she ought to tell Gladys to look at the letters to the editor column?
I couldn't because I found out that the Prentices don't take the Centerville Times anymore.
They don't? How come?
Because Dr. Prentice is from Kansas.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
Well, she said they haven't had a copy in the house since the paper came out against Landon.
Gee whiz, Mary, if that isn't typical of you.
Of me?
I ask you to do the simplest possible thing, and you let somebody named Landon get mixed up in it.
Henry, maybe we better go back to your house and get one of your father's papers.
Well, all I can say is if you're going to do that, you better hurry because they're going fast.
In the living room, Alice.
Dear, do you know what... What are you doing?
Why, just writing something. So I know what.
Where the rest of the papers are.
Oh, there aren't any more.
All those papers are gone?
Well, at the rate you've been mailing them out.
Sam, so far I've only used 2.
That's all? Well, Henry came in a while ago and took some. One, anyway. And there were a few people I thought I'd like to... Alice, I'd like to get your opinion on something.
What is it?
Which of these sound better to you? Main Street Mayhem or Peril to Life and Limb?
You're writing a murder mystery?
No, a letter to the editor. Just occurred to me that... Alice, have you ever noticed how traffic gets snarled around Main and Elm Street at 5 o'clock? Or do you think a letter about the new tax assessment would be of greater interest?
Do you want to get that, Sam?
All right.
Mother, do you want me to start lunch?
Oh?
It's a little early.
Yeah?
Mary, look at this.
What is it?
Apparently a list of things your father's thinking of writing to the editor about.
Really? Is he going to be writing to the paper every day?
I hope not. Or his law practice will just go to pieces.
Yes, Sam. Mary, I suppose you might as well put a light under the potatoes.
Yes, Mother.
Who's that on the phone, Sam?
That, Alice, was the editor of the Centerville Times.
Really?
Seems I've really started something down there. He sent a couple of reporters out this morning, and they just came back with a picture of two of those vandals caught right in the act of smearing up a fence.
Oh, my.
And he's going to run it in tonight's paper along with a special editorial he's writing. Now, that's what I call getting action.
I should say. Now, how old were those vandals?
Oh, just a couple of kids, he said. Said they both looked as though they'd been shot.
Oh, dear.
Well, they'll finally get what's coming to them.
Gracious. What do you think will happen to them?
Oh, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they both wound up in reform school.
Well, personally, I don't think it was a bit fair.
Why?
Taking those poor boys by surprise that way.
What'd you want them to do? Ask those hoodlums to pose? After all, they were violating the law.
I realize that, Sam. I realize that. But just think of how the parents of those boys are going to feel when they see that picture.
It seems to me that's something a parent should think of beforehand.
Naturally, you feel that way. You're a lawyer.
I'm also a parent.
But you're not a mother.
Granted.
If you were, you wouldn't let the editor print that picture.
How can I stop him?
You started the whole thing, didn't you?
Yes, but...
Well, why can't you tell the editor that if he insists on printing the picture, you won't write him any more letters?
What? Alice!
Oh, Gladys! Gladys!
I don't think she hears you, Hen. Why can't you just go up and ring the bell?
Homer, from what her mother told me this morning, I don't think that's too wise.
Well, how else are you going to get this copy of the paper to her?
Well, if I can just get her to come to the window for a second, I'm sure she'll... Wait a second. I think I know how I can get her attention. Stand back.
Henry, throwing rocks at a girl is no way to make up.
It's not a rock, it's just a pebble. And I'm only going to hit the window with it.
The window? Excuse me.
Where are you going?
I think I'll watch from across the street.
Don't be silly. I'm only going to hit it lightly. What?
Boy, Henry, Coach Nelson was wrong about you.
In what way?
He said you couldn't even hit the side of a house.
Where's another pebble?
Here, and let me try it once, Henry. You're too nervous.
Okay, but remember, lightly.
Sure.
Homer, it went right through the window.
Yeah, but I think it got her attention.
You think so?
See, there she is.
Oh, hi, Gladys.
Hi, Gladys.
I hope we didn't disturb you or anything, did we?
Is that a picture of lemonade you have there, Gladys?
Gladys, what are you doing with that?
At least where do we get out of it?
Gladys, I just want to ask if you've seen this morning. Oh, boy.
Okay, Henry, have you got any more ideas like that?
And now, getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. It's just a little later now, and the scene is still outside Gladys Prentice's house.
Now, Homer, have you got that straight?
I think so.
Will you stop hopping up and down like that?
But I've still got some water in my ear. The left one popped already, but still working on the right.
Well, let it dry out by natural means. Now, go ahead. And remember, the important thing is to get the paper into Gladys's house.
Okay.
And you don't have to mention my name in there unless the situation changes.
I get it. You know what I just happened to think?
What?
Wouldn't it be easier for you to just start dating Nancy Adams? Oh, hello, Mrs. Prentice.
Hello, Homer. Won't you come in?
Thank you. Do you suppose I could speak to Gladys for a minute?
Well, I don't know. You're a pretty good friend of Henry Aldrich's, aren't you?
Why, we're acquainted.
Well, I'll ask her, but I don't know if she'll come down. Oh, by the way, Homer, you aren't by any chance through with that newspaper, are you?
This?
Now, if you're still reading it, never mind.
You mean you'd like to have it?
Only if you're sure that you're through.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Here you are.
Oh, thank you. I'll call Gladys.
Oh, that isn't necessary now.
It isn't?
No, ma'am. I'll just be running along. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Homer, and thanks again for the paper.
Gee, you're entirely welcome. And I hope you and Gladys enjoy reading it.
Oh, I didn't want it to read.
You didn't?
No, I just needed something to wrap my potato peelings in.
What?
Well, goodbye.
But, Mrs. Prentice, that paper was intended for other eyes.
Wait a second, Mr. Aldrich. Let me close this door. Yeah, that's better. I'm glad you dropped in, Mr. Aldrich. Frankly, I didn't get what you were driving at on the phone.
Well, Mr. Anderson, I think we had a bad connection.
Yeah, we must have. I kept thinking what you were saying was that we should kill that picture of the two vandals.
I didn't say that exactly.
Of course you didn't.
What I said was whether we oughtn't to stop and think about it first.
About what?
Well, the feeling of the boy's parents, the possible effect on, well, that sort of thing. Just speaking as a parent, you see.
Mr. Aldrich, I'm a father, too, you know.
Yes, but you're not a mother.
Huh?
I mean, what I was going to suggest was that perhaps we ought to have these boys in and just give them a talking to.
Mr. Aldrich, you know what your trouble is? You're too soft-hearted.
I know.
You never dealt with these kind of kids before, but I have. And you can't pamper them.
Well, my wife...
When you'll see the shot we got of them. Why, you just have to take one look at their faces to know that they're potential criminals.
Is that right?
And those are the kind of kids you're feeling sorry for?
Well, my wife...
Don't you see that publishing their pictures is going to teach them a lesson they'll never forget?
Well, I wonder if you'd mind calling my wife and explaining.
As a matter of fact, the more I think of it, the more I feel I ought to give that picture the widest possible spread. Yes, sir. Excuse me. Oh, Joe, see you?
Okay. Yes, Mr. Anderson?
Come in a minute. Joe, I just decided I'd like to move that picture of the two kids from the editorial page to the front page.
To the front, but what about your editorial?
Well, in that case, we'll have to put that on the front page, too. Don't you think?
Check. Now, what about that other picture I had penciled in?
Which one was that?
You know, that cab driver and his 13 daughters.
Oh, what was that story about again?
What was it about?
Yeah, what did this cab driver do?
Well, he had 13 daughters. Isn't that enough?
Well, we can run that some other time.
Well, the only thing is, this cab driver's already put in his order for 40 copies of tonight's paper for his immediate family.
Oh, well, stick it in the back somewhere then, on the sports page.
On the sports page?
Yeah, with the batting average.
With the batting average, yeah.
Because I think this story about the vandals is, Oh, excuse me, Joe. This is Mr. Aldrich. Fellow wrote that letter?
Oh, yeah. Pleased to meet you.
How do you do?
Jack.
Yes, sir, Mr. Aldrich. If you haven't written that letter... Wait a minute. Joe, get your camera, quick.
Jack.
Mr. Aldrich, I think I've really got hold of something.
Yes? What is it?
It's an idea that's going to... Okay, Joe?
Jack.
I'll get this, Joe, and see if you don't think it's dynamite. Mr. Aldrich, just stand up against this wall here.
What for?
You'll see. Here, let me have your hat.
Yeah.
Now, just face this way, see?
Yeah.
And hold your arms straight out. You're pointing, see? Look stern. A little more. More. All right, get that, Joe.
Jack. Got it.
What do you want my picture for?
I'm going to run it right next to the picture of those two hoodlums with you pointing straight at them, see? And the caption across the top will read, get this, Joe.
Jack.
We must stop this.
Jack.
I don't know, Homer. I just don't know if that's such a hot idea.
Why? Did you ever hear of anybody refusing to look at a telegram?
Sure, when they're sent collect.
But we're paying.
Well, what have you got written down?
See page 8, this morning's Times. Probably with potato peelings.
And how is it signed?
Al.
Who's Al?
Just an anonymous name.
Now, that's confusing. Why not just write anonymous?
Okay. A-N-N-O. You write it.
Okay. A-N-N-O. Well, come to think of it, Al's anonymous enough.
Yeah. Well, do you want to send it?
I don't know. Suppose they've already had their garbage collected.
Whiz, Henry, make up your mind. You realize you practically ruined the whole Saturday for me.
Well, is it my fault if every store in town has sold out their papers?
Hey, Henry, look what's right next door to this telegraph office.
Well, I'll be darned. Come on. I don't know why I didn't think of coming in here in the first place.
Sure. They don't have this morning's paper. Nobody will.
Of course. And, Homer, I promise you, as soon as I get it over to Gladys's, we'll spend the rest of the day on whatever you want to do.
The rest of what day? It's almost time for supper.
Yeah. Well, let's ask right here. Oh, mister.
Yes, Emmy?
A copy of today's Centerville Times, please.
I'm sorry, but we don't have one left.
You don't?
Gee whiz, how could the Centerville Times be out of the Centerville Times?
Well, we've had quite a run on them today.
Boy, now what am I going to do, Homer?
Mister, you couldn't just run off one more copy for us, could you?
No, I'm afraid not. But I'll tell you what you might do. You see that door there?
Yeah?
That's the composing room.
One of the fellas in there might just have an extra copy.
Well, gee, thanks.
That's the best I can do, boys.
What kind of a room did he say it was, Hen?
The composing room.
Oh. What are they doing there?
Boy, Homer, don't you know anything? A composing room is... Well, it's a place where... It's a composing room.
I guess we better knock first, huh?
Knock? What for?
So we don't disturb their train of thought while they're composing.
Homer, come on.
Gee whiz, how can they compose with all this noise?
Do you see anybody we can ask?
How about that fellow?
Where?
The one coming this way, carrying that sort of tray.
Oh, yeah. Mister, can I ask you something?
Sorry, Sonny, the paper goes to press in 5 minutes. Why don't you come around when they have one of those tours?
Oh, no, you don't understand. The man outside said I might be able to get an extra copy of this morning's paper in here.
Oh, I don't know whether I've got one or not. Here, will you hold this while I take a look at my desk?
Gee, sure.
Now, be sure and hold it level, son.
Yes, sir. Boy, look at this, Homer.
Yeah. What is it?
It looks like a page from the paper. Isn't that right, mister?
Yeah, that's the front page of tonight's paper.
Gee, wait till I tell my folks I was holding it.
I was pretty sure I had a paper somewhere in this desk.
Henry, you know what's funny?
What?
See that picture right in the center of the page? Notice when the light hits it one way, it's negative?
Yeah.
And then if you tip it a little like this, you can see the way it's going to look when it's printed.
That's right. Seems to be a picture of a couple of kids, doesn't it?
Yeah. And what are they doing?
What? Looks to me like they're painting a Homer.
Henry, that can't be us.
Maybe not, but it sure is.
Who's that guy pointing at us?
I can't quite see who it is that's
Tip
pointing
it a
at...
little more.
Oh, boy.
Somebody you know?
Slightly. It's my father.
What?
See?
Henry, don't tip it so far. Homer, grab it. Watch out!
Oh, boy.
I'm going home.
What'd you do?
Mister, I'm afraid we've...
Oh, no, look at my type. Look at my type.
Mister, it's...
You don't know what I ought to do to you kids, do you?
Mister, let us...
We put the paper to bed in just a few minutes. Now what am I going to do?
Say good night.
Look, mister, we'll be glad to help you out.
Oh, you will?
Sure. We certainly ought to be able to get it back together before the paper wakes up.
Alice, I hear someone on the porch.
You do?
It must be the paper boy. Excuse me.
Sam, don't run like that. The shades are off.
I'll take that, Sonny.
It's not Sonny, Father. It's me.
Oh, hello, Henry.
Good evening, Father.
Henry, where have you been till now?
Why, Homer and I stopped to help a man pick up some things.
And it kept you this late?
Well, there were quite a few of these things.
Well, dear, we have some exciting news for you. Your father's picture is going to be on the front page of tonight's paper.
Yeah, I know. I mean...
How do you know?
Why, well... I happened to be down at the newspaper office, and I saw it.
You did? Is it a good picture of your father?
Well...
Was his tie straight?
Well, I don't know how straight it is anymore. I mean, well, I only got a quick glance, Mother.
Oh, well, isn't it exciting, Henry?
Yeah. Swell.
I must say, you don't sound very enthusiastic.
I don't? Well, just because I don't sound it, don't think I am. I mean, I'm not. I mean...
Henry, is anything wrong?
Why,
Hey, wait a second. I think I hear the paper boy now.
Father, before you go out there, I feel there's something I ought to tell you.
Well, all right. Just let me get the paper.
Father,
first.
wait. That's what I want to tell you about. You know that picture they took of you?
Yes?
Well, I think it's only fair for you to know that the two boys you're pointing at are Homer and me.
What?
Sam Aldrich.
But how? What were you... Good heavens.
Hi, everybody. Something wrong? I guess I should have knocked, huh?
Homer, I just told my father about the paper.
Oh, I've got a copy of it right here. Would anyone like to see it?
Boy, you just couldn't wait to bring the bad news, could you?
But, Henry, that's the point. We're not on the front page.
We're not?
You mean I'm not either?
Oh, you're on, Mr. Aldrich.
Let me see that, please.
Sure.
Let me look, too, Sam.
For heaven's sake.
Sam, what's that you're pointing at?
It's a taxi driver in his third key and order.
be saying?
We must stop this.
Well, gee whiz.
That was the Aldrich family, and now the Archies.
Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I feel it breaking right out loud. Kick off your shoes, everything's new. Listen to the breeze singing to the trees. Oh, la, 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 let it shine, let it shine.
In this episode of the Archies, they sing the song Lazy Bones.
Lazy bones, sleeping in the sun. I expect to get your day's work done. You'll never get your day's work done. Sleeping in that noonday sun.
Here's the adventures of Archie Andrews from July 20th, 1946.
Hello?
Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away. It's a matter of life or death.
Oh, relax, Archie. Relax.
Yes, and you relax too, folks, if you can, because here he is again, right out of the pages of Archie Comics magazine, with all his gang, Archie Andrews. Well, it's a sunny Saturday morning as we look in on the Andrews home in Riverdale. Archie has just come downstairs.
Is that you, Archie?
Yes, Mom, it's me.
I.
What?
It's I.
Yes, I know it's you, Mom.
No, Archie. You said it's me, and you should say it's I.
Well, what's the difference, Mom, as long as I'm here?
All right, Archie, you win. I'm glad you're up early, dear. There's some things around the house I want you to do, and you can get...
Oh, but, Mom, on a day like this...
Well, I know, dear, but it's high time you mowed the lawn.
Oh, but, Mom, just think, where would Napoleon be if he'd spent his time mowing lawns? Or Edison, or Abraham Lincoln, or any great man? Did they putter around the house?
They certainly did.
You see, Huh? Oh, but, Mom, I got important things to do.
Now, just what is so important?
Gee whiz, Mom, what do you think it is? I'm going swimming.
Oh, I hadn't realized it was anything that important.
Sure. As soon as I get someone to go with me.
All right, Archie, go ahead. I suppose it's too warm to do anything else.
Oh, gee, thanks, Mom. I'm going to call Veronica. Operator, get me Riverdale 318, please. Lazy bones lying in the sun. Never get a day's work done.
Are you on the phone?
Yes, Dad.
Oh, well, hurry up. I have a call to make.
Yes, Dad.
Hello? That you, Archie?
Uh-huh. Is that you, Veronica?
Uh-huh.
Hiya, Veronica.
Hello, Archie.
Veronica, would you like to go swimming today?
Oh, I'd love to go swimming with you, Archie. But I have an appointment at the beauty parlor in 5 minutes, and I have to hurry. Bye now.
Huh? Hello? 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 Gee whiz.
Archie, are you through with that phone?
Not yet, Dad.
Well, hurry up.
I'll just be a minute, Dad. Hello, operator. Get me Riverdale 426, please. Lazy bones lying in the sun. Never get a day's work done. Betty, this is Archie.
Oh, hiya, Archie.
Hiya. Betty.
Yes, Archie?
Betty, would you like to go swimming today?
Oh, I'd love to go swimming, Archie. But I have to go shopping with Mother.
Oh, but Betty, couldn't you...
Mother's calling me right now. Bye now, Archie.
Gee whiz.
Archie, are you through yet?
Not yet, Dad. I just got to make one more call.
Oh, Archie, for God's sake.
This'll just take a second, Dad. Operator, Riverdale 783, in a hurry, please. Lazy bones lying in the sun. Never get a day's work done. That way. Hello, Jug.
Yeah, Archie?
Jug, come over right away.
Why?
We're going swimming.
Not me. I'm not.
Gee whiz, Jug, why not?
I got a bad sunburn.
Gee whiz, on a swell day like this.
My sunburn doesn't know what kind of day this is.
But, Jug, you just gotta come swimming. We'll go down to the...
Nothing doing. I'd look like an embarrassed lobster now.
Oh, gee whiz. I guess I don't go swimming today. Well, come on over anyway, Jug. We'll do something.
Okay, bye.
Archie, are you through with that phone yet?
Yes, Dad.
Yeah. Oh, well, good. Well, now, what nonsense are you up to today, son?
Nonsense? Why, Dad, you know I'm never up to any nonsense.
No?
Of course not, Dad. As a matter of fact, I plan to spend the entire day working around the house. See you later, Dad.
Goodbye, son. Working around the house. Working around the house? What, Mary? Oh, Mary!
Yes, dear?
Is there anything wrong with Archie?
Jug, I ought to be doing something. There's a lot of things to be done around the house.
Well, you could cut the grass.
What for? It only grows up again.
You could paint the front fence.
Well, what for? It'll only get dirty again.
You could fix that broken screen door.
What for? It'll only break again. Give me a piece of that candy, Jug.
What for? You'd only get hungry again.
Don't be funny, Jug. Thanks. Yes, I ought to do something around the house.
Archie, why don't you just put up a hammock and lie there quietly?
Jug, now you've got something. That's exactly what I intend to do. Yes, sir, I can see me now, just lying in the shade, swinging gently back and forth. Ah, that's the life.
You haven't even got the hammock up yet.
Oh, it won't take a minute, Jug. Soon as we buy one, I'll string it between those two shady trees on the left side of the house. Come on, here's the hardware store.
Well, hello, Archie. What can I do for you today?
Hello, Mr. Higgins. I want to buy a
How about a new lawnmower, Archie? Just got a beauty in, special at $14.95.
No, thanks. We have a lawnmower. All I want is a
How
nice...
about a mop? Or brooms or pails, huh?
No, thanks. Just a
Or
nice
some
small...
screws, tacks, or nails?
No, all I want is
You
one...
care for some batteries, knives, or pans?
No, thank you. I just want a nice...
How about some paint or turpentine and cans?
Mr. Higgins, I don't want any paint or turpentine or batteries or pails, nails or snails.
Well, what do you want?
I forgot.
A hammock, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. A hammock, Mr. Higgins.
Well, why didn't you say so? Why didn't you say so?
Well, I've been trying to for about
Say,
5 minutes.
Here's a dandy hammock made by the Swing Low Sweet Chariot Company. Only $5, this one.
Oh, mark down. Half $5. Gee whiz.
I think it's the last hammock I have, too.
Well, okay, I'll take it. Here you are.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Hey, you sure you don't need a garden hose?
No hose, thanks.
How about some oil or a hammer?
No hammer.
You need a lawn sprinkler?
No, thanks a lot.
Or a rake or some grass seed?
No, thanks. Oh, wow. I thought we'd never get out of there. He's a real salesman, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, Archie Andrews, I was just looking for you.
Oh, gee, Veronica, what are you doing here?
Well, I decided it was much too hot to go to the beauty parlor, so I canceled my appointment.
You did?
Uh-huh. And I'd love to go swimming with you.
Gee whiz, I can't go now.
Well, why not?
I just spent my last cent on this hammock.
Oh, really?
Gee whiz. Jug, why did you have to suggest my putting up a hammock in the first place?
But, Archie, all I said
Wait a minute. Maybe Mr. Higgins will take it back and give me my money.
Oh, do you think he will?
Of course he will. After all, I bought it just a minute ago. It hasn't even been used yet. You wait right here, and I'll be right back.
Oh, gee, Jug, I hope he gets it. I'd certainly love to go swimming.
Yeah.
It's a lovely day for swimming.
Yeah.
Oh, well, here comes Archie. Did he give you your money back, Archie?
Give me my money back? Veronica, he sold me a cushion to go with the hammock.
Oh, Father.
Hello, Veronica. I was just going for a walk. You want to see me?
Yes, I did. Father, isn't it awfully warm today?
Yes, it certainly is.
Father, you know what I've been thinking?
No, what?
That it would be wonderful to have a hammock on our lawn.
Well, would be kind of nice.
Why don't you put one up, Father? I know where you can get a lovely hammock and very reasonable,
Veronica,
Yes, Father.
let's hear no more about my putting up a hammock. Only a fool would put up a hammock on a day like this.
Oh, lazy bones, lie little sun. Never seem to get a day. Work done. Lying. Mary.
Yes, dear?
Mary, do you have some more of this lemonade?
Yes, dear. I'll bring it right out.
All right, dear. Oh, never get a day's work done. Lying in the new moon. Hey, son, hey, son. Oh, when you go fishing, I'll bet you keep wishing.
You look comfortable.
Hi there, Lodge. Yes. Well, I'm comfortable. Come on up here in the shade.
Thanks. Don't mind if I do.
Well, where are you going?
No place special, just a little stroll. You know, I believe your porch is better ventilation than mine.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, real comfortable here.
Yes, it is.
Of course, there is one thing you need on your property.
Really? What's that?
A hammock.
A hammock?
Yeah. There's nothing more comfortable than lying in a hammock in the shade.
You know, Lodge, you've got... Yes, you're right.
You could put it over right on the right side of your house.
Yeah, that would be a nice place for it.
Why don't you do it right now?
Now? No, I don't know. It's a little too hot for that, I think.
Oh, of course, if you're not handy with tools...
Not handy? Lodge, I'll have you know I can do anything around this house, anything. In fact, I tell you what.
Yes?
If you will give me a hand, I'll go right down and get a hammock at Higgins' hardware store.
How'd you make out, Jug?
Pinky's father doesn't like hammocks. How'd you make out?
Betty's father says he always falls out of hammocks.
Gee. And Mr. Lodge doesn't want a hammock.
Yeah, but Veronica's talking to Mr. Mandel. Maybe he'll... Oh, here she comes now. How'd you make out, Veronica?
Oh, just fine.
You mean Mr. Mandel will buy the hammock?
Oh, no, but Reggie wants to take me swimming.
Oh, fine. That's great. Great.
Oh, but Archie, you wouldn't want poor little me to sit home and just melt away on a day like this, would you?
Gosh, no, Veronica. But I tell you what. Just wait right here. Maybe my father will pay for this hammock.
Well, all right, but hurry.
Mom! Oh, Mom!
Yes, dear?
Where's Dad?
He went downtown for a while.
Gee whiz. Okay, Mom, thanks. Well, Veronica, I guess you better keep your date with Reggie. My father probably wouldn't want a hammock anyway.
A hammock? You want to buy a hammock, Mr. Andrews?
That's right. I want to buy... Well, what's so strange about that?
Nothing. Not a thing at all. I have a dandy hammock right here, Mr. Andrews, one of the last ones in stock, and only $5.
Well, fine. I'll take it.
All right, I'll carry it out to your car.
Thank you. You know, Lodge, I like doing business here. Mighty fine fellow, that Higgins.
Well, Jug, as long as I'm stuck with a hammock, I might as well lie in it. Give me one of those hooks.
Here you are.
Now I'll screw it into this tree here. Won't take a minute. There. Now the other hook in the other tree. Yeah, I'd rather lie in a hammock than go swimming any day. There. Well, that's done. See how easy it is?
Yeah.
Sure. In fact, I'm very glad I thought of putting up a hammock.
You thought of it. Archie,
Never mind, Jug. Hand me the hammock and I'll hang it. I'm anxious to see how it looks.
Yeah.
Now I hang one end on this hook, and the other end on the other end on. Well, gee whiz. Jughead, it doesn't reach.
Gee whiz.
This hammock's too small.
Maybe the trees are too far apart.
Oh, for gosh sake. Why didn't I think of measuring the distance before I rushed off and bought this thing? Now what'll we do?
I could stand here and hold the other end.
No, that's no good. The termites would get you in one season. I know. I could sink a post into the ground and hang the other end on that.
Yeah, I guess you could.
Sure. Jug, you know, sometimes I think I'm a genius. The rest of the time, I know it.
You see, Andrews, that's all there is to it. Now that you got the 2 hooks in, you just hang the hammock on it.
Yes, Lodge, I sort of figured that out for myself. Hand me that hammock, will you?
Yeah.
Thanks. Now I hang one end on this hook and the other on this hook. There. Now we're all set. Well, that was easy.
Oh, I told you it would be.
Yes, Lodge. Well, now for the test flight. I'll hop right into it and...
What happened?
I hit bottom. Oh, my gosh, it's resting right on the ground.
That's because the trees are too close together.
Yes, Lodge, I could tell. Fine thing. Now what'll I do?
Why, you could plant another tree.
Please, Lodge, don't be funny. I know. I'll just sink a post into the ground and hang the hammock on that.
Andrews, if you study hard, you're going to be a genius.
Never mind, Lodge. Oh, Mary. Mary!
Yes, dear.
Mary, would you bring up my saw?
Your what?
My saw!
But Archie's using it, dear.
Oh, well, tell him I need it for a few minutes.
All right. Archie! Archie! Yes, Mom? Archie, your father wants the saw. Gee whiz, Mom, I'm using it. Archie, your father needs it. Okay, where is he? On the other side of the house. Okay, I'll send Jug over with it. All right. Fred,
Yes?
Jughead's bringing the saw.
Okay. Now let's see. I had some 2x4s right here. They should make fine posts. And wait a minute. That's funny. They're gone. What? Mary,
Yes?
have you seen those old 2x4s that were alongside the house?
Yes, dear.
Where are they?
Archie has them.
Art, now what in the world is he doing with them?
I haven't any idea.
Well, tell him I need a couple of them.
All right.
Here's the saw, Mr. Andrews.
Huh? Oh, thank you, Jug.
You're welcome. And Archie says let him know when you're finished with it.
Yes, I will.
Archie! Yes, Mom? Your father wants some of those 2x4s. Gee whiz, what for? I have no idea. Well, tell him to send Judge back here for the 2x4s. All right. Fred,
Yes?
Archie says to send Jug back.
Well, Jug's already gone back, and tell him to hurry.
All right. Archie! Did Jug get there? Yes, Mom! Well, hurry and send those 2x4s to your father! I already did, Mom! All right, dear.
Here's those 2x4s, Mr. Andrews.
Oh, fine. That's fine, Jug.
And Mr. Andrews,
Yes?
Archie says if you need anything else, just holler.
There. Well, I guess that post is quite solid now.
Well, I don't know. Got to be real strong, you know.
Lodge, I said that post is solid now.
All right, Andrews. If you think it's solid, I won't contradict you.
Okay.
After all, it doesn't matter to me if your hammock falls down.
Lodge, for gosh sakes, it's too hot to argue.
Hot? That's funny. I don't feel hot.
Well, if I was just drinking cold lemonade by the gallon and standing in the shade looking important, well, I wouldn't be, Lodge, what is the shade doing over where you are?
I never touched it.
Good grief, the sun's moved. You can't hang a hammock right in the sun.
No, not if you want it in the shade.
Oh, well, for gosh sakes, I guess there's only one thing to do. I'll have to move the hammock to the front lawn. It's always shady there.
Good idea.
Well, I'm certainly glad you approve. Yes, I guess it's the only thing to do. And as for these few holes I made in the lawn, why, they won't matter. They won't matter at all. Will they?
Well, Jug, I guess we're ready now.
Yeah, ready to collapse.
What are you tired about?
You think it's easy running back and forth between you and your father?
What's he doing anyway?
I don't know.
Well, he'll be surprised when I show him this... Gee whiz.
What's the matter?
Jug, the shade is gone.
Gee, so it is.
Jughead, do you know what happened?
What?
The sun moved.
It frequently does, Archie.
Gee whiz. Jug, why didn't you watch the sun?
I've seen it before.
Very funny, very funny. But now do you know what I gotta do?
What?
Move this hammock around to the backyard. It's always shady there.
Good idea.
And as for the few holes I dug here, they won't matter. Won't matter at all. Will they?
Bring that shovel, Lodge.
I am.
Bring that saw, Jug.
I am.
Well, hello, son. Still working?
Yes, Dad. You too?
Yes, but I'm almost finished.
Me too. Well, see you later, Dad.
Yeah, see you later, son.
Well, Jug, there it is. One hammock, complete and ready for use. Oh.
Yeah, you look a little tired.
A little. Jug rigor mortis has already set in. The next time I decide to put up a hammock, put me in a straitjacket, will you?
Okay.
Well, that's nice of you, thanks. But anyway, the job is done now, and I'm just...
Hello, Archie.
Oh, hi, Betty.
Hello, Betty.
Hi, Jug. Well, was it fun, Archie?
Was what fun?
Swimming at the lake?
Oh, that. I never went swimming.
Why not?
I decided to put up this hammock instead. Fool that I am.
A hammock? You decided to put up a hammock?
Well, yes. What's so strange about that? See, here it is. A work of art, if I do say so myself.
Well, yes, but...
And it took plenty of blood, sweat, and tears, too, Betty. From now on, if anyone asks you, you tell them for me. Putting up a hammock is about the most difficult job in the world.
Yes, but
But it's finished now, and I intend to spend many a comfortable hour in it. And you can use it, too, Betty. Anytime it's empty, you can come right over and swing in this hammock.
Yes, Archie, but why do you need two hammocks?
Oh, because everybody needs to. Two hammocks? Betty, what are you talking about?
You mean you don't know that your father just finished putting up a hammock on the front lawn?
Oh!
My goodness, he's fainted.
Yeah, and not everybody can faint right into a hammock.
Archie, are you all right?
Where am I?
In your hammock.
Oh, don't say that word again, Jug. Betty, tell me, is it true what you said? My dad put up a hammock on the front lawn?
Yes, it is, Archie.
Oh, well, we certainly don't need two hammocks. Jug, hand me that sledgehammer.
But, Archie, you don't know
Jug, give me the hammer. Thanks. Now... That's the end of that post.
Oh, but Archie, what will you hang the hammock on now?
Betty, I'm going to make you a present of this hammock. Here, take it.
Oh, but Archie, your new hammock, I couldn't take that.
You've got to, Betty, as a favor to me. If my father sees it, I'd never hear the end of it.
Well, all right, Archie, if you insist.
I do. And remember, you kids, don't ever breathe a word of this to anyone.
Well, Lodge, finally up. There it is. A hammock.
Yes, we did a good job. Even though I do have to say so myself.
We? Lodge, how did you get into this?
Well, now, you will admit, Andrews, that it was all my idea.
Now, listen, Lodge, if you think you can claim all the credit, why, you've got another...
Hello, Mr. Andrews.
Oh, hello, Veronica.
Hello, dear.
What are you doing here, Father?
Oh, just showing Mr. Andrews how to put up a hammock, dear.
A hammock?
Lodge, for the last time, quit trying to take all the credit.
Did you say a hammock?
Andrews, I still insist. Without my help, you couldn't have put it up in a million years.
But I thought Archie was going to put up the hammock.
He was. Lodge, you didn't do a darn thing to help me, and you... Veronica, what did you say?
I said Archie was putting up a hammock, wasn't he?
Was he? Oh, my gosh, I'll bet that's why I couldn't get the... oh, my gosh, did he?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Andrews, I guess you now have two hammocks.
Two hammocks? Who needs two hammocks? Well, Lodge, there's only one thing to do. Hand me that axe.
This one?
Yes, that one. Thank you. If I never hear the word hammock again, it'll be too soon. There. That settles that.
Andrews, you've chopped the post down. Now what are you going to hang the hammock on?
Lodge, I am making you a present of this hammock for your invaluable assistance.
But I don't want to...
Take it, Lodge, with my blessing.
Oh, yes, Father. I'd love to have a hammock on our lawn.
Well, all right. Thanks a lot, Andrews.
Don't mention it, please. And, I have just one favor to ask of you and Veronica.
Yes?
Don't ever say a word about this to my family. I never live it down.
Oh, don't worry, Andrews. Don't worry. You can trust us. Well, let's go, Veronica.
Bye, Mr. Andrews.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Hello, Dad.
No, Archie. Hello, son. Oh, hello, Jughead.
Hello, Mr. Andrews. Are you finished with your hammock, Dad?
Why, yes, I did. Hammock? Did you say hammock?
Uh-huh.
Why, what hammock?
The one Betty said you were putting up.
Oh, well, she must have been mistaken. You can see there's no hammock here. She must have meant your hammock.
My hammock? Oh, but you must be mistaken, Dad. I haven't any hammock. Now.
What? Archie, tell me the truth. Did you or did you not put up a hammock?
Well, I don't have a hammock now.
Archie, answer my question.
Yes, Dad.
And you didn't... Archie, did you tear that hammock down?
Yes, Dad.
Oh, how do these things happen to me? Of all the idiotic, imbecilic things I ever heard, both of us working all afternoon, spending all kinds of money, and then both tearing down the hammocks. Archie,
Now, gee whiz, Dad, it's not my fault. You bought a hammock, too, you know.
It most certainly is your fault. Well, maybe it isn't entirely your fault. No.
Of course it isn't.
Look, son, I tell you what. Suppose we just forget the whole thing.
Forget it?
Yeah, just pretend the whole thing never happened. And above all, let's not say a word to your mother about this. We'd never hear the end of it.
Okay with me.
You hear that, Jug?
Yes, Mr. Andrews.
And one thing more. I never want to hear the word hammock again.
Me too, Dad.
Fred.
Oh, hello, Mary. Where have you been?
Out shopping. Hello, dear.
Hi, Mom.
Well, did you two finish your work?
Work? Oh, yes, we did, Mary.
Good. Well, I have a wonderful surprise for both of you.
Surprise?
Yes, I got it at Higgins' hardware store. I'm sure you'll just love it. It has an iron stand, and it's portable, and you can put it almost anywhere you
Mary,
want.
just what has an iron stand and is portable?
Why, a hammock, dear. A portable hammock.
You've been listening to another chapter of The Adventures of Archie Andrews, written by Carl Jampel and based on the copyrighted feature appearing in Archie Comics magazine. Archie is played by Bob Hastings, Jughead by Harlan Stone. Others in the cast include Alice Yearman, Ian Martin, Gloria Mann, and Rosemary Rice. Felix McGuire at the organ. Production was under the direction of Charles Urquhart. And now back to the Andrews.
Fred, for Pete's sakes, what's so funny?
He broke his arm. Oh, my. Fell right out of the hammock and then broke his arm.
Fred, I don't see anything funny about that. Who broke his arm?
Mr. Higgins, Mary. Mr. Higgins of the hardware store.
Listen next week for more of the merry adventures of Archie Andrews and his friends. And now this is Bob Sherry wishing you a very pleasant weekend. So long!
That was Archie from 1946, and now one more episode. Once again, the Aldrich family.
Wholesome presents
Henry Aldrich! Coming, Mother!
Wholesome presents The Aldrich Family, written by Clifford Goldsmith. Entertainment for all the family, brought to you by Postum, a tempting, wholesome drink for all the family. Postum. Tonight we offer as a curtain raiser that most nostalgic form of entertainment from the good old days. The Barber Shop Quartet. Are you ready, men?
He is more to be pitied than censured when he all too lightly slips all night. For he's playing just one of those laddies for whom coffee just isn't right. No, not right. Do not scorn him with words patronizing. Do not laugh at his woe-begone face. What he needs is some helpful instruction on the facts that apply to his case.
Those facts, friends, are these. Even can drink coffee without ill effects. There are many others who spend a wakeful night every time they touch coffee. Now, there is a mealtime drink which is caffeine-free, stimulant-free. It cannot keep anybody awake, and it has a perfectly grand flavor. So to those of you who are affected by coffee, we say,
do not dally, but start drinking Postum. See how rich and how lusty this drink. Lusty drink. See how soon after switching to Postum, you can sleep without moving. Oh, this Postum
Typical teenage boys have an impulsive but genuine point of view all their own, which grown-ups can appreciate but rarely understand. Henry Aldrich knows that. The scene opens on a busy street in front of a busy store. Henry's sister is speaking.
But, Henry, Mother is waiting for it.
That doesn't make any difference, Mary. I'm not going to go down Main Street doing anything as foolish as that.
All right, then, Henry. If you don't want to take Mother her cheese, all right. But if she asks me why she didn't get it, I'll just tell her.
But, Mary, it isn't the cheese I mind. Why do I have to carry your darn umbrella in your pocketbook, too?
Henry, I've told you exactly 12 times I'm going over to play tennis with the Andersons.
But, Mary, in the first place, that's a green and yellow umbrella. And your darn pocketbook's practically as big as a suitcase.
All right, then, all right. Your own mother is waiting for cheese to put on a dish she's fixing for your own dinner. And there she waits in the kitchen, wondering where the cheese is, and you stand collecting a crowd.
She's waiting for it?
Yes, Henry. And what's Father going to say when he comes home and finds no cheese on anything? How are you going to face him?
Oh, Mary, not so loud. I'll take it. Here, give it to me.
Well, thank heavens you're coming to your senses. Here's the cheese, and here's the pocketbook and the umbrella.
But now, wait a minute, Mary.
I haven't got time, Henry. Just take it home.
But, Mary, why can't you at least take your umbrella? Listen, Agnes.
Honey, where'd you get it? It's just beautiful.
It's none of your business. Just get out of my way.
Oh, isn't he neat? Oh, isn't he sweet? Here comes Emily down the street.
Now, listen, everybody. This isn't funny. Do you realize my mother's waiting for her cheese?
Oh, is that the way your mother sends you shopping, Henry?
Never mind, Agnes. Now, listen, Charlie. Stop trying to twist my sister's umbrella. Hear me. There, darn you made me bang it against the lamppost.
Who did?
Henry, he didn't hurt it any.
He did too, Agnes. It won't even open now.
I bet it will, too. Go ahead, open it up.
Yeah. Look, I'll show you.
Well, it opened.
Oh, look at him. Hello, Henrietta. Gee whiz.
Hey, Henry, your petticoat shows.
Now, listen, fellas, didn't I tell you you broke it?
I did not. You got it open, didn't you?
Yeah, darn it, but gee whiz, I can't close it. I can't close it. Well, don't you think that's interesting, Alice? That book I was telling you about?
Yes, Harriet. Only what I want to know is what's become of Mary.
Mary, are you expecting her?
Yes, of course. She said she'd bring the cheese right home, and I can't put this macaroni in the oven till it gets here.
But don't you think that's revealing, Alice? I mean, what I was telling you about that book.
What book?
About people having complexes. Now, you take the Bartlett boy over on Maple Street. His folks are just finding out why he's always been afraid of water.
Why has he?
Well, once when Jimmy was just a baby, his mother left him alone in a bathtub and he got scared. And so today, naturally, he's afraid of all water in general.
Nonsense,
Alice, there are lots of young people who have complexes about something, or ashamed or sensitive, and nobody knows why. Don't you think that's interesting?
Yes, Harriet, but all I want to know is where is my cheese?
Hey, little boy. Little boy.
What?
Come here a minute. Come here, I won't hurt you.
What you got the umbrella up for?
Would you like to have me let you carry it for me? That is, would you... Here, take it.
Oh, me?
Yeah, sure. And would you like to take this nice big pocketbook?
No.
Go ahead. You don't have to carry it very far. Look, I'll give you a nickel.
No, you think I want to look like a sissy?
A sissy? Gee whiz, whatever put an idea like that in your head?
No.
Okay. How about a dime?
I don't believe you.
Well, I've got 4 cents here in my pocket and... Well, just a second while I open this pocketbook.
You mean that's where you carry your money?
Well, money and cheese and things. Here, hold this umbrella. Gee whiz, there doesn't seem to be any money in here.
Well, here, take your umbrella back.
Now, wait a minute. As soon as we get home, my mother would be very glad to give you 10 cents.
Are you sure?
Of course. She's very anxious about... Now, here, take these things.
Okay. But if anybody asks, I'm going to say they're yours.
Gee whiz, nobody's going to notice you. Now, come on.
Okay. Which way do we go?
I'll show you. And listen, don't walk beside me.
Why not? The sidewalk's wide enough.
Go on, drop behind me. About 10 yards, but don't lose sight of me.
Okay.
Hey, Shorty, where'd you get the parasol?
Go on, you want me to whack you with it?
And now listen, boy, there's not to be any fighting with that stuff.
I was just telling him where to get off. And say, do you see that yellow sign 2 blocks up the street?
What about it?
That's as far as I go for a dime. From there on, it's another nickel. Hi, Henry.
Oh, Homer, what are you doing down here?
Just leaning against this telephone pole. Wait a second, I'll walk along with you.
Well, listen, I hope I won't be taking you out of your way, Homer.
For me, I'm not going anyplace. And look, Henry, look at that kid in back of us.
Where?
Carrying the lady's pocketbook and the umbrella over his head.
Oh, yes, I wonder where he came from.
Boy, Henry, if he doesn't look crazy.
Not so loud, Homer, he'll hear you.
I know, Henry. But what do you say we drop back and kid the pants off him?
Oh, no, Homer. Oh, no.
Okay, Henry. Let's cross the street before the light changes.
Oh, wait a minute. Stop pulling me.
Look out, Henry.
I know, Homer, but why do we have to run? You don't have to push me.
Boy, we just got across in time. Let's go down this way.
Well, Homer, first, could you wait a second?
What for?
Why, I just want to wait here on the corner until... Isn't that strange?
Well, what is it you're looking for?
Nothing. I just wanted here on the corner until... Oh, boy.
Now, Sam, don't be upset. It isn't my fault.
I'm not upset. Heard you were having dinner early tonight, so I came
Bring home the cheese, and I've been holding everything until she gets here.
Alice, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it seems to me that in a family this size, we ought to have some system.
And, Sam, I tried to, but I certainly didn't know you'd get home before the cheese.
Alice.
Yes, Harriet?
Is Sam still upset? Well, don't you think you ought to let him sit down at the table even if dinner isn't entirely ready?
Harriet, why would we do a thing like that?
Listen, didn't I just hear Mary come in with the cheese?
Mary! Mary! Henry!
Mother, are you calling I?
Henry, is that you? Will you come here, dear?
Mother, has anybody been here?
Has anyone been here? No.
Not anyone that even asked for a dime?
What's that?
Well, he might have asked for 15 cents, but I hope you didn't give it to him.
Henry, what are you talking about?
Well, I'll tell you, Aunt Harriet. Has anyone seen Mary?
No, Henry. I was just going to ask you whether you'd seen her.
Do I?
Yes, dear.
Why, I did see her. You saw her, Henry? Where? Why, I think it was downtown in front of the Emporium.
Alice!
What, Sam?
I don't want to appear to be rushing you, but I'm all washed any time your dinner's ready.
Sam, Mary's disappeared with the cheese.
She's what?
Look, Mother, why don't you advance me part of week after next allowance and let me run out and get you some? Now, dear, I can think of no reason why you should pay for it. Why not? After all, you paid for the first piece. And this piece, Henry, is going to come right out of Mary's pocketbook. You mean you know where...
Here, Henry, take this money and get some cheese and bring back the change.
Yes, Father. You found the ration points out in the kitchen.
Mother!
Oh, boy.
Mary, is that you?
I'll go out the kitchen door and come through the back way to the store.
Henry, come back. Mary's here.
It's too late, Alice. He's gone.
Mother, I'm sorry I'm a couple of minutes late, but I'll do all the dishes for you.
Thank you, dear. That's very kind of you, I'm sure.
What's that?
Never mind apologizing, Mary. Why did you take your cheese to play tennis?
What's that, Father?
Where's the cheese? Where's the cheese?
Father, didn't Henry bring it home?
Who, Henry?
Mary, I didn't send Henry for it. I sent you for it.
Yes, Mother, and then to make sure it got here, I sent Henry home with it.
Oh.
That's how worried I was about it. Where's my pocketbook?
Your what?
My pocketbook and my umbrella.
You mean you left them someplace?
Mother, what did he do with them? What did he do with them?
Excuse me, but could you give me some idea as to some of the things you carry in this store?
Stationery, writing paper, pencil.
Well, do you carry cheese? Cheese? Boy, every store I've been to is closed, and my father... Have you seen a boy about this tall with a green and yellow umbrella?
A green and yellow what?
He was just a little kid about so high, and when the traffic light changed... Do you know of any way of cooking macaroni without cheese?
Macaroni without what?
Sure, it's my father's favorite dish.
What? Did you ever try it with tomato sauce or breadcrumbs?
Tomato sauce or crumbs? That's an idea. Look, would you mind phoning my mother and telling her how to fix it, please?
No?
But if she asks for me, don't tell her you've seen me.
Mrs. Aldrich, you mean to say he didn't even come home for dinner?
No, Homer.
Well, boy, he promised to go to the movies with me tonight. And, boy, if he doesn't get here soon, we're going to be late.
Homer, do you mean to say Henry doesn't even know the name of the boy he gave Mary's pocketbook and umbrella to?
No, Mrs. Aldrich. He came up to about here on me, and he had pants and a sweater on, and he came out of a clear sky and disappeared into a clear sky.
Alice!
Yes, Sam?
May I ask where you ever got the idea of putting crumbs on macaroni?
Dear, someone phoned me just before dinner and told me about it and then hung up. And I was so surprised I just went ahead and did it.
Yes? Well, don't ever do it again.
Boy, if Henry's much later, we're going to have to sit right in the front row. And will I have a stiff neck tomorrow?
Mother?
Henry, is that you?
Gee whiz, Henry, where have you been?
Well, Mother...
Henry, where is Mary's pocketbook and umbrella and your father's cheese?
That's what I want to try to tell you.
First, Henry, may I ask something?
Homer, would you please wait out in the hall?
Yes, Mrs. Aldrich. Only when do you think we can start for the movie?
Not right this minute, dear. Now, please leave the room.
Yes, Mrs. Aldrich. Only the last time I had a stiff neck, it lasted a couple of days.
Homer, don't you realize my mother's trying to give me a talk? Mary.
I'm making up a list of all the things that were in my pocketbook, and I'm very much afraid I'm going to have to hold you responsible for them.
Well, I happen to know there wasn't any money in it.
Oh, you mean that I suppose your little friend went through it, too?
Mary, he was not my little friend.
Then who was he?
He was just someone that was carrying it for me. And I phoned half a dozen different people to find out whether any of them knew who the kid was.
Well, I certainly pity your allowance during the next 2 years.
Mary, if it will cheer you up any, Father promised me an increase of 20 cents a week beginning next October.
Hey, Henry, our show just started.
Homer, Henry appreciates your wanting to take him, but I'm afraid you'd better go without him.
Okay, Henry. I'll keep my eyes open around the theater for any kid with an umbrella. Goodbye.
But Homer!
Alice, where are you? Oh, why, hello, Henry.
Good night, Aunt Harriet.
Good night. Why, are you going to bed this early?
Why, yes, I feel a little tired.
Harriet, I've never been so completely confused in my life.
Well, I don't know what's confusing about it. He's got a complex just the way everyone else has.
He has what?
Alice? This has probably been building up in him for years. Didn't he tell Homer the reason he gave that boy Mary's umbrella and pocketbook and cheese was because he just couldn't carry it himself?
Yes.
And there you are.
But Harriet, a complex about what?
Cheese, Alice. He's never liked it. He's always fought it. And today it's just got the best of him.
That one little piece of cheese.
Now, Harriet. Alice, I'm going to send that book over to you. It'll wake you up to a lot of things.
Mother, what do you think happened?
Mary, have you found your thing?
No, Mother. I was sitting in the other room trying to think who that boy was that Henry doesn't seem to know anything about. And finally I went to the phone and called Mrs. Johnson and... My goodness, Mother, she jumped right down my throat.
She what, Mary?
Aunt Harriet, I give you my word. All I said was, Mrs. Johnson, could it have been your boy that took my pocketbook? What's wrong with that?
And she was rude to you? Why, of course she was. Mary, you stepped right on her complex.
I did what? Mary, isn't that the telephone? It is? Oh, my goodness, Mother.
I'll go answer it.
Mother, if it's Mrs. Johnson calling back, tell her I'm very sorry. I didn't realize she was sick.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Aldrich, this is Homer. I don't want to seem to be trying to talk you into letting Henry go to the movies, but I think you ought to know something.
What about?
It's raining cats and dogs, Mrs. Aldrich, and everybody in town is out with their umbrellas, and Henry's missing a great opportunity.
Henry!
What, Mary?
I'm sorry to wake you up, Henry, but there's a very important call for you on the telephone.
Well, did Mother say it was all right for me to take it?
Yes, Henry, of course she did. Here, take the phone.
Well, thank you. Hello?
Henry, is that you?
Yeah.
Well, this is Homer. I'm talking to you from a booth in the theater, Henry.
From where?
You better get on your clothes and come right down here.
Why?
Well, they just put on a couple of acts, see? And there's a guy that walks a tightrope with an umbrella.
Gee whiz, is it our kid?
No, but his umbrella is yellow and green, Henry, and he might be the kid's father.
Now getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. Rather than carry his sister's pocketbook and umbrella right out on the main street, Henry hired a small boy to carry it for him. In trying to cross at a busy intersection, Henry's slave disappeared. The scene opens the next morning in the Aldrich dining room.
Alice!
Sam, I thought you'd finished breakfast long ago.
I have, but before I leave for the office, I want to have a talk with Henry. If you ask me, it's high time he came down to breakfast.
Mary? Yes, Mother. I've just been phoning the Jones to see whether it could have been their little girl that Henry might have mistaken for a boy.
Dear, you didn't insinuate that their daughter stole anything, did you?
No, but my goodness, people are certainly getting touchy in this town.
Well, go upstairs and tell Henry he's to be down here in 2 minutes.
All right.
Tell him just because I sent him up to bed last night doesn't mean he can't ever come down.
Yes, Mother.
Well, Alice, what's the next step?
What do you mean, Sam?
I've called everyone I can think of that might have a small son.
Did you phone the Bensons?
Yes, Alice.
Hurry at last. He's suffering with something that's pretty bad.
She said what?
That's what she said. And you're having an awful time getting him straightened.
That's just Harriet's imagination. There's nothing wrong with Henry. He's upstairs sound asleep.
Mother! Yes, Mary? Now what do you think?
Mary, does Henry refuse to come down?
Mother, he isn't even up there. He's apparently dressed and left the house. What's that? Sam, where are you going?
Up and look for him.
Well, dear, I'll go along with you. My goodness, Mother, do you think he's hiding in the attic?
Mary, tell me something. Confidentially, what is it Henry's got?
What has he got? He hasn't got anything. That's the trouble.
What's that?
Look at this list. This, Homer, happens to be all the articles that happened to be in my pocketbook when he happened to lose it.
Well, let's see it.
There it is, Homer. I'm practically ruined.
Gee, did you have all that in one pocketbook?
I certainly did. Some of those things happen to be irreplaceable.
Well, what's this word here?
Handkerchief. That was a lace handkerchief, Homer, that belonged to my Aunt Harriet. And it even had a hand-embroidered initial on it.
Yeah?
My goodness, I've got to answer the phone.
Never mind, Mary. I'll answer it.
Father, did you find anything of it?
I did not. Hello?
Hello, Sam. This is Harriet. What are you doing home so late in the morning?
I've just been upstairs looking for something, Harriet. What is it you want?
Do you realize what you've done to your son?
To whom? Henry? You mean you've seen him?
Yes, I have. And he's in no condition to be out on the public streets.
Now, Harriet, there isn't anything wrong with Henry. He's just as well as you and I are.
Oh, you think he is? Well, what's he over on Main Street for, grabbing young children? He grabs them from his back, Sam, and twists them around and looks at them and then runs on and grabs another.
What?
Sam, his nerves must be all shot.
You think... Harriet, I'll be right over.
Listen, Henry, why don't you be sensible and go home and get some rest?
Homer, it was right here by this traffic light that it disappeared yesterday.
Well, this is a pretty windy corner, Henry. Have you thought about that? It might have just lifted him right away.
Look, Homer, look. Who's that going across the street?
Now, listen, Henry, if you grab one more kid and twist him around, we're going to get in trouble. Don't you remember at all what he looked like?
No. Do you?
No. Although I might just possibly remember him if I saw him with an umbrella up over his head.
Wait a minute, I'll be right back.
Henry, where are you going?
I'm going to speak to this taxi driver that's parked here. Hey, mister.
What do you have?
I wonder whether you could give me a little information. Do you remember seeing anything of an accident here on this corner yesterday afternoon?
An accident? Somebody hurt?
Well, I don't know whether he was hurt or not, but he certainly disappeared.
Yeah?
We can't even locate his parents.
What did he look like?
Well, he was about so high, and he was carrying a big lady's pocketbook with a piece of cheese in it, and an umbrella that was up and wouldn't come down.
Listen, are you trying to kid me?
No. Which part is it you don't understand?
Go on.
But wait!
Hey, Henry, what you do, insult him?
No. Gee whiz, if this isn't the darndest corner I've ever seen.
Listen, Henry, will you please be sensible and come home? Don't you realize you need a rest?
Now listen, Homer, stop pushing me. Just get away, Go on home yourself.
Well, that's a nice way to talk to me.
And what help have you been? This whole thing was your fault anyway.
Well, that's appreciation for you. Gee whiz, didn't I go down to the Centerville Times this morning and put an ad in the paper?
For what?
For your darn sister's pocketbook. I paid for it out of my own money. It cost me 50 cents.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Well, gee, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you... Thank you. Thank you very much.
You mean you're sorry you're here in public?
Homer, I said thank you, didn't I?
Henry!
Gee whiz, is that you, Father?
Henry, what are you doing out here on the street?
Well, he's all right, Mr. Aldrich. I've got my eye on him.
Homer, will you please get away?
For why?
Yes, Homer, please go down the street. I want to have a talk with Henry.
Yes, Mr. Aldrich, I'll go.
Hey, get out of the way! Now then, Henry, what are you doing here?
I'm looking for Mary's pocketbook.
Here on this corner?
Sure.
Henry, what's gotten into you? Do you realize that not only Mary is upset, but you have your mother upset, your Aunt Harriet
Hey,
upset?
Father, excuse me.
Henry, where are you going?
Goodbye, Father.
Henry, come back here. Henry!
Are you sure that's your sister's umbrella?
Sure I am. Can't you see? It won't come down.
Boy, was I lucky to see that kid.
And I certainly appreciate your recognizing him, Homer. But, gee, you should never have dove and tackled him like that.
I didn't hurt him, Henry. I didn't want him to get away from me.
But what's become of my father?
Your father?
Sure. I was standing right here by this traffic light, Homer, talking to him. When all of a sudden I happened to see you die for the kid way down the street, and I ran.
And now your father's disappeared?
Well, sure. What happens to people on this corner?
Oh, Henry, you afraid it's going to rain?
Now listen, Charlie.
Please, here, come gently down the street.
Oh, gee whiz.
Hey, Henry, if you think I'm going to walk with you, you're crazy.
But Homer, wait.
Hello, Henry. You going to a tea party?
Hey, Mr. Taxi! Mr. Taxi! How is he, Alice?
He's in the living room, Harriet. I made him lie down.
Fine. That's the best thing in the world for him.
But I'll never be able to understand why I had to go out in front and pay a 25-cent taxi bill for him.
Because, Alice, I told you last night he's always hated it.
Hated what?
Jeans.
My goodness, Mother, I want you to smell something.
What, Mary?
My lipstick, my lipstick.
Oh, my goodness, please don't hold that under my nose.
I can't possibly use it, Mother. People will be thinking I've been eating a cheese sandwich. My whole pocketbook smells like a delicatessen.
What's that, Mary? Has somebody been to the delicatessen? Could I have something to eat?
Henry, do you feel hungry?
Hungry? Sure, I haven't had any breakfast or lunch.
Well, I can't get you anything until I've answered this phone. Hello?
Hello, Alice. This is Sam. Get in the car and drive over to Will Brown's. I need $25.
What for?
I was down on Main Street, Alice, and I tried to take an umbrella away from a small boy, and his mother saw me, and now I'm in jail.
Oh, my goodness.
Alice, please get that $25.
Yes, Sam, goodbye. Well, Alice, what's happened? Nothing, Harriet. Just get out of my way.
Mother, did you see this in the paper?
Did I see what, Mary? What is it?
In the Lost and Found column. Who put this in?
Oh, Homer did. Wasn't that decent of him?
Yes, it certainly was.
Mary, I'm sorry, but I've got to go.
But, Mother, listen. Lost on Main Street by Henry Aldrich. One silk lady's umbrella, one pocketbook containing 3 lipsticks.
What's that?
1 eyebrow pencil, 6 bobby pins, 1 kiss me goodnight compact.
1 what?
1 lace handkerchief with initial H embroidered in corner.
Now, Mary. Henry? Wait till I get Homer. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. Hold him, Alice. He's getting violent. It's that cheese.
If coffee keeps you awake, try caffeine-free Postum. It comes in two forms. Regular Postum, which is ground just right for pot percolator or drip maker, or instant Postum, which is made so easily right in the cup simply by adding boiling water. Made either way, Postum tastes well. Food is a weapon of war. You've heard that statement before, I know, but do you realize consciously what it means? Do you realize that our American food can give our own fighting men and our allies the fighting edge they need to smash the Axis? It can help prevent the spread of starvation and disease in liberated countries. It can help secure the cooperation of the people in those countries in working out a lasting peace. Yes, that's the way food can fight for freedom. But you personally must help by conserving food in your home. So start by keeping the home front pledge.
That means buy foods that are plentiful, rather than bid against your neighbors for scarce food. Never accept ration foods without turning in the correct number of ration points.
Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with your favorite youngster, his family, and his pals. The Aldrich Family is written by Clifford Goldsmith. It's conducted by Jack Miller.
Thanks for listening to Gee Whiz. If you'd like to find more episodes all in one place, check out thisdaybenny.com/Gee Whiz.